of you tell me that what is the difference between adjacency matrix and distance matrix? Previous was A0, A1, A2, A3, A4, A5. Now we will go for distance matrix D0, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5. So can you tell me what are the differences between these two? इनके बीच में difference क्या है? Raise your hands. How many of you can tell? Hand raise करिए. कितने लोग बता सकते हैं? Distance matrix and adjacency matrix. कोई नहीं बता पाएगा. चलिए हम बताते हैं. In distance, in adjacency matrix, left diagonal elements they were zero or they were non-zero. Okay. Am I audible to you?
You are audible, sir.
क्या am I audible only to Harsh Govind? Aman Verma आप बताइए.
Yes sir, you are audible.
Yes sir, you are audible sir. Audible sir.
सब के सब आप लोग जो है वो अभी वो होली आ रहा है ना, तो ऐसे भांग खा करके आदमी जो है पड़ा रहता है, वही हाल में आप है. ऐसे नौकरी नहीं मिल पाएगी, दिक्कत हो जाएगी. So अमन वर्मा जी, adjacency matrix left diagonal, does it remain zero or it may not be zero?
Sir, it may not be zero.
Adjacency matrix, like you see previous case, ये देखो. See this one. This is the final adjacency matrix. A4 is the final adjacency matrix. So all the elements of adjacency matrix, they are zero or they are non-zero? Or some of them may be zero, some of them may not. Or you see this one. This is A3, this is adjacency matrix, and you see diagonal elements. So what we say that in the case of adjacency matrix, the left diagonal may not be zero. But when we talk about fluids, when we talk about distance matrix, so Aman Verma ji, what will happen in the case of distance matrix? क्या होगा? The left diagonal will be zero or non-zero?
Zero.
Zero. थोड़ा confidence के साथ बोलिए. So please remember, in the case of distance matrix, the left diagonal will always be zero. Left diagonal will always be zero. Other things will remain like Warshall's algorithm. Whatever rules we discussed in Warshall's algorithm, the same rules will be used here in Floyd's algorithm, but always the left diagonal will be zero. Always the left diagonal will be zero. Now let's see. The system is slow. What were the rules that we used in Warshall's algorithm? Same rule we will use in Floyd's also. So क्या rule थे?
Sir,
zero, non-zero, non-zero, zero.
Yes sir.
हाँ, कौन बोल रहा है? नाम बोल के बताइए. कौन बोल रहा है?
अभिजीत विश्वकर्मा.
विश्वकर्मा जी, आप तो बोलते ही रहते हैं. अभिजीत विश्वकर्मा, हर्ष गोविंद, अमन वर्मा, ये लोग तो बोलते ही रहते हैं. Sometimes Namrata Sharma also she speaks. हिमांशु शेखर जी, आप बता दीजिए रूल.
Yes sir, that has to be zero.
रूल बता दीजिए. 0 plus non-zero, non-zero plus 0, 0 plus 0, non-zero plus non-zero. यही तो चार था कि और कुछ था? These four things were existing.
Yes, sir.
तो बता दीजिए 0 plus 0 कितना होगा? ये देखो आप बीटेक फोर्थ में पढ़ रहे हो और मैं 0 plus 0 पूछ रहा हूँ. घर वाले सुनेंगे तो कहेंगे कि ये कौन सी पढ़ाई है भाई कि बीटेक में पढ़ रहे हो और 0 plus 0 पूछ रहे हैं सर. और उनको उनकी नाराजगी तब बढ़ जाएगी जब आप 0 plus 0 का आंसर ना बता पाओ. क्यों भाई? हिमांशु शेखर, 0 plus 0 equal to how much? आप बताओ, आप क्या उपाय करें आपका? 0 plus 0 नहीं बता पा रहे हो. हाँ, दीक्षा सिंह 0 plus 0 equal to how much?
0.
इस रूल में क्या लिखेंगे? जो रूल हमने पढ़ा है इसमें 0 plus 0 के लिए क्या रूल है?
0 plus 0 non-zero.
Non-zero.
0 plus 0 equal to non-zero. कौन non-zero बोल दिया?
Sir, no change.
कोई
And no
no
change.
change.
No change.
तो 0 plus 0 equal to no change. दीक्षा सिंह सेकंड रूल बताइए. Second
Non-zero
rule
plus
बताइए.
0 equals to no change.
Non-zero plus 0 equal to no change. थर्ड रूल बताइए.
Non-zero plus non-zero equals to change.
Change. And if change occurs, then which one will you select?
Shortest path.
Shortest one. And you can say next rule is, so all these 3-4 were the rules of Warshall's algorithm. When you talk about fluid, so next rule, that is rule 4 or rule 5, you can say it as always the left diagonal will be 0. This is the next rule. And just these 4-5 rules you implement. Just these 4-5 rules you implement. So remember, we have implemented, say, these rules. First was rule 1 was 0 plus 0, no change. Second rule was non-zero plus 0, no change. Third rule was 0 plus non-zero, no change. Fourth rule was non-zero plus non-zero equal to change. And in fourth rule, what you did? Go for the select the smallest path. Now, these 4 rules were applicable in Warshall's algorithm of all best shortest path. Now, rule 5 will be there in the case of Floyd's algorithm. And rule 5 says that always the left diagonal will be 0. Now, and you see Floyd's algorithm, we can use it for a directed graph as well as for an undirected graph. एक क्वेश्चन में करा देता हूं, बाकी आपसे I will ask you that you do it. We have taken this particular example. You see, the screen is clearly visible to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
4 vertices are there, V1, V2, V3, V4. And first matrix is D0. D0 is the distance matrix. So remember what I said. What was rule 5? Rule 5 was left diagonal will be 0. So if you are constructing distance matrix D0 or D1 or D2, always keep the left diagonal as 0. ये आपको और आसान कर दिया, कंप्यूटेशन कम कर दिया ये. Left diagonal will always be 0 everywhere. You see D3 also. Left diagonal 0. 0 is there in left diagonal or not? Even you see D3
Yes.
or you see D4, always left diagonal will be 0. Rule 5. Remaining first 4 rules, you have already implemented it. In previous class, we already implemented it. So now let's first construct the initial matrix D0. So see the first row, V1 to V1 0, V1 to V2. A path is existing, its length is 5. And V1 to V3, no direct path is there. No direct path is there. So 0, it is 0. And V1 to V4, no direct path is there from V1 to V4. So it is 0. Now V2 to V1, V2 to V1, one direct path is existing, its length is 7. And this is why we have written here 7. V2 to V2, it will be 0 only because it is diagonal. V2 to V3, no direct path. V2 to from V2 to V3. So this will be 0. And from V2 to V4, from V2 to V4, one direct path is existing and its length is 4. Its length is 4. So this is 4. So first you constructed V3 to V1, no direct path in the graph. V3 to V1, no direct path. V3 to V2, V3 to V2, you are at V3, you have to V2, one direct path is there, V3 to V2, and its length is 3. And V3 to V3, 0. V3 to V4, V3 to V4, no direct path, so it is 0. And same thing for V4 to V1. You see from V4 to V1, V4 to V1, one direct path is there and its length is 4. And V4 to V2, V4 to V2, no direct path, so it is 0. And V4 to V3, V4 to V3, path length 1, and V4 to V4, diagonal, it is 0. Now, again, you will do the same thing. क्या करेंगे आप? You will select the first row and first column from D0, distance matrix D0. You will select the first row and first column. Since you have selected first row and first column in D0, so in the next matrix D1, first row and first column will have no change values. D0 में first row और first column की वैल्यू कोई पढ़ दे? D0 में ये this one, Amaya Subhas. In D0 you read the first row and first column.
Sir, in the first row, it's 0, 5, 0, 0.
And first column?
0, 7, 0, 4.
And in D1, what is first row and what is first column?
Sir, it's the same 0, 5, 0, 0 and 0, 7, 0, 4.
Yeah, since you in D0 you selected first row and first column, so no change in this one.
Yes.
In first row and first column. And will there be any change in the diagonal, left diagonal in D1?
No, sir.
Left diagonal will always be 0.
0, yes, sir.
But other elements like this 0, 0, 2, the remaining elements will be changed.
Yes, sir, they can change.
They will be changed. Now you tell that not you. Now what I want that all of you please construct matrix D1. Matrix D1 बनाइए आप लोग, तो देखिए क्या आंसर आता है आपका. Bring your hands down and you construct matrix D1. Take the help of D0 and construct matrix D1. Apply Floyd's rule. बनाइए आप. Take matrix D0 and construct matrix D1. सब लोग बनाइए. If you complete it, then raise your hand. Construct matrix D1. If you complete it, then raise your hand. Screen is visible to all of you. D0 is already visible on the screen. Now I ask you to construct a D1. construct matrix D1 बनाइए. Take D0 and you construct D1. If you come, चलिए. Aditya Raj, done, completed? Aditya Raj, you have raised hand. ये क्या? भाई आपको कैमरा नहीं कैमरे के लिए नहीं हुआ है. चलिए, well done. So what is the value of fourth row? Fourth row value.
Sir, hello.
Yeah, fourth row values are
Sir, 4901. 4910.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
So, okay, thanks to all of you. Bring your hands down. So let's see that what is. ठीक है, Aditya Raj, thank you. You stop sharing. 4910. Now what I want that. Now you take matrix D1. Take matrix D1 and construct matrix D2. All of you please do. You bring your hands down and all of you please do. ये अभिजीत विश्वकर्मा hand down करिए. You take matrix D1 and construct matrix D2. If you complete it, then raise your hands. देखते हैं fastest finger first किसका है. This will be the sequence of your placement. Take matrix D1 and construct matrix D2. I will like to, and then if once you construct it, then raise your hands. Construct matrix D2 means in D1, what will you do? You will now take second row and